We're studying some of the Testament Aleph at 69.8. And it's the middle of the page, but it's 3 lines from the wide. They're 3 lines down from the wide lines. So it's Amar Meimar. Yeah. You think Hashem, you're able to learn every day. It's about learning Hashem the base of English immediately. So Refuah Shlema from my father. So let's begin. Amar Meimar. Meimar says, Bas Yereshes Habi. The girl that's taking the dowry, she's taking it as an inheritor. We'll see what the significance of that is, because Rav Ashi is going to tell us that she's taking it as a creditor. Let's take a look. Amalei Rav Ashi la Meimar. Rav Ashi says to Meimar, Ilu bai l'saluki bezuze, hachinamid lematzi l'saluka. Let's say one of the other inheritors wants to pay her off that she shouldn't take a property, wants to give her just coins. They take the money and we'll keep the property ourselves. We'll divide it up, or we'll keep it. I'll keep it for myself. So he can't do that because she's an inheritor, just like he is. They have to work that out. They don't. It's this ability of saying who gets what isn't given to one person. So she has the rights to every part of the estate to get that 1/10. You know, we're talking about that the dowry was 1/10 of the estate. So Rav Ashi says, he can't pay her off. Amalayin, because that's true, he can't pay her off. Let's say he wants to give her just one field. Now that could be a way of dividing the estate, but it doesn't have to be the way of dividing the estate. That has to be organized by the inheritance, how it's going to be divided. So, can he not just pay her off with this to take your dowry from this one field? Amalayin says he can't do that. Cannot in is yes, but it means yes, he cannot. Right? So that's the view of Meimar. Rav Ashi says, Bas Balas Chayv. Rav Ashi says that the daughter is just considered a creditor and they can pay the creditor however they want. Right? They can pay in any coins or whatever. Is there a rule you can pay a penny a day? I think there was something about if you're paying on time. If you're paying on time or paying later, remember the month. But basically, you can pay however you want. Father passed away. Before he passed away, then he could have specified what he wants. But if he doesn't specify what he wants, then we have to make assumptions and we assume that he's going to be giving 1/10 of his estate. Now the question is that gift an inheritance? Is that dowry that he gives an inheritance, or is it just like a debt and she just collects it from whatever they want to pay her with? Okay, so it's a machlaikas. And now the Gemara says, and Meimar himself retracted and says that the woman could be paid however the other inheritors want to pay her. It would be a girl. The girl could be paid. The Amar Rav Minyumi Bered Rav Nechumi. That rhymes. Rav Minyumi, the son of Rav Nechumi, says, I was one time in front of Meimar, and and this woman comes in front of us. She's asking for 1/10 of the property of the estate. Why? Because she's getting married. And I saw his intention, that if they would pay her off with money, he would accept it. He would accept that this is an okay thing to do. The Shami Me'achi, because he hears the brothers, the Havikamri law, that they were telling to her, if we would have money, we would pay you the money. The Ishtik, and Meimar was quiet. Meimar didn't say, no, you can't do that. Even though the brothers were saying that had we had the money, we would have done that. And the Maimer doesn't say you couldn't have done that anyway. So that means that he changed his mind and he was following Rav Ashi's view that they could have done that, which would mean that the daughter would be a creditor and not a inheritor. Okay. Bahashta da Amrit Balaslev. Now, I guess there's this great question. Now that you tell me that she is the creditor, but the Abba or the Achi, who's she a creditor of? The father or the sons or the brothers? You hear the question? The father's supposed to give her the dowry. Father passed away. Now the brothers are supposed to, but is that coming from the father? And the brothers are considered Yisayimim, considered orphans. And it becomes very complicated to collect money from orphans, from a debt that the father had owed. Or is it the brother's own debt? And that's easy to collect. They just come to you and say, you owe me money. And it works like this. What's the difference if the girl is a creditor of the fathers or of the brothers? The difference is the rule is that a creditor collects from the middle type property, the average type property. You see, you always get your value. The question is, what quality property do you get? So if there was a damages, if someone damaged someone else and he owes money, so it says in the Torah that the damages are paid from the hideous, from the best possible property, best quality real estate. And then the creditor, actually in the Torah probably doesn't say, but the rabbi said that the creditor collects from the middle type property. Officially, it was supposed to be from the lowest property, but people wouldn't lend money if they were always going to get paid back in a property in Wyoming. There's somewhere where they have no access to. So they wanted the best. They weren't able to give the best. The best goes to the damaged one, someone that caused the damage, someone that was damaged by them. So the baininess is what the creditor gets, the middle type, and then the Kesubos actually gets from the Zibura. The woman collects from the Ksuba, the lowest. But if someone is collecting from orphans, then he has to collect from the lowest ones. He can't collect from the middle one. Yeah, because it was a debt from the father, it wasn't a debt from. Well, one more point is that if you're collecting from a person that owes you money, you don't need to take an oath. But if you're collecting from orphans, you do have to take an oath. So the difference over here is who owes the money? Is it the father and they're collecting, and now the girl is collecting from orphans, or is it the sons and collecting from the people themselves? Difference if they get baininess without a shua, if she gets baininess, or if she gets ziburis with a shua, with an oath. So what's the dim? Tashema, so come and listen. The Ravina Agbe Labrati de Ravashi. Ravina collected a dowry for the daughter of Ravashi, Marbri de Ravashi, from Marbri de Ravashi, which is her brother. Okay. Baininess, the regular property, an average property without an oath, which means that the brothers are themselves the debtors, right? Not the inheritors. Mi braid the Rav Sama, braid the Ravashi, Ziburis Bishvua, but he collected from Rav Sama, who's the son of Ravashi. Oh no, the son of Rav Sama, who's the son of Ravashi. Over there, that was already a debt that was left over from the father or the brothers, right? Because the brothers are now considered the father. Ravashi has sons and a daughter. She wants the dowry. So from Marbri to Ravashi, they took average property. But from Ravashi's grandson, Over there they took the lowest property and with an oath, because that was already the inheritors. That wasn't the direct debtors. Yeah, sons of the money. Shalach le Rab Nechemia Breder Rab Yosef le Rabba bar Rav Huna Zuta min Ardai. Rab Nechemia, who is the son of Rab Yosef, sends to Rabba, the son of Rav Huna Zuta, the smaller Rav Huna, from Nardai. Kiasya ha itzalakamach. The message goes like this to Rabba bar Rav Huna. He says, when this woman comes in front of you, collect a tenth of the property for her, even from the mill, which means that was considered a property that had an easy income because there was a water mill. So that was an easy income, right? That took care of itself. You just rent that out. Anyone that needed to mill grain, which worked on its own. So he was saying to collect, that sounds like the best. Ravashi says, your RMS. Oh.
I know. That's like 6 months.
Okay. So what's going on over here? Ravashi. Ravashi says Kiavina Be Rav Kana. Ravashi has many stories that he was with Rav Kana. Rav Kana is not the Rav Kana, the student of Rav that was under his bed once. This is another Rav Kana much later. Yeah, some say that there were 6 Rav Kanas, but we definitely have 2 Rav Kanas. You have the one that's a student of Rav, and then you have this one that Ravavsky seems to be a student of.
Which later
One of the Kahanas, one of these Rav Kahanas was not a Kahan. Surprisingly, it's not.
he didn't have family.
Okay, so Ravashi says when he was in the house of Rav Kana, have a magbinan apilu me amla the basi. Even from they would collect rental fees they would give the dowry from the rental fee of property. That was considered real estate as well. Take from I guess they would say that you can collect the rent from such and such a property, and that would be considered giving a real estate. Someone had already rented it, and they just got the money from it. Okay. Yeah, until it paid up the tenth. Shalach le Rav Anan le Rav Huna. Okay, this gets a little political over here. Rav Anan seems to be a friend of Rav Huna. Says Hunan. He sends him a message. He says, Huna, Chavrin, Shalom. Huna, our friend, peace unto you. That was the introduction to the letter. Then it says, when this woman comes in front of you, collect a tenth of the property. Well, Rabbi Yosef Rav Sheshes Kamei, Rav Sheshes is sitting in front of Rav Huna. Amalei, Rav Huna says to Rav Sheshes, Zil Emalei, go and tell Rav Anan, Ubashamta Yehei Mandalei Amalei. And in Chayrim should be the one that doesn't say this exactly, as he's forcing Rav Sheshes to say this carefully. Anan. That's calling him his name. You want me to give it from real estate, or you want from personality? Uman Yosef Bey Marzicha Beresha. And who sits in the house of the Marzicha at the head of the table? The Marzicha is going to mean in the mourner's house, who sits at the head of the table? Should the mourner be leading, or is that appropriate for the mourner to sit at the head? Okay. So also Rav Sheshes like Kamei de Rabbanan. Sheshes goes in front of Rabbanan. He's a messenger from Rav Huna. He has to do this properly because there's a chayrim if he doesn't. Amar le, he says, Mar Rabba, master, great master. I think that's what that means, right? Mar Rabba, great master. How do they translate that? Oh, Mar, the master is a master. Rav Huna, Rabbi de Rabba. And Rav Huna is the master of the master. Vishamuti shamis mandala yamalei. And there's a chayrim on anyone that doesn't say what I'm about to say. He loved the shamis le'avi kamina, but if not for the chayrim, I wouldn't have said this. But I'm stuck, so here it goes. It says anan. He calls him by his name. What did you mean? From the real estate or from personality? And who sits at the house of the mourner at the end? He says Marzicha. Also, Ravana Lakamid Marukva. Ravana goes in front of Marukva. Marukva was the head of the court. He says, Amalei Chazi Mar Hechi Shalachli Ravuna. Look at how Ravuna calls to me. He says, Anan. And Va'oid, and another thing he says, Marzicha de Shalachli Layadana Mainio. He says, I don't know what Marzicha means. A very uncommon word. Amalei, so Marukvik says to Ravanan, Emily easy. Tell me, my friend. Easy. Easy is like Izzy. That means my friend. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Wait till we'll finish the story. We'll see what's going on. Tell me what happened over here. So he tells him the story. So what was the story? That someone had passed away, and he left the daughter, and the daughter needed the dowry, and the dowry was going to be collected from the area of Rav Huna. So Rav Hanan sent a message to Rav Huna to help this girl get her dowry. The way he phrased the message was, he says, Huna, our friend. Rav Huna, protecting his honor, sends back. He says, Anan. Rav Hanan was the one that sent the message. He says, Anan, what are you talking about? Should we get the property from should we get the dowry from real estate or from personal thing? And then the next question was, who sits at the head of the mourner's house? He just asks him that. I'm not sure why he's asking him that, but he wants to show him that he's not such a Talmud Chacham. Maybe he shouldn't be calling him Huna. It shouldn't be just without the title. It's called honorific. So Gufa Duvda Hechahavi. What? Tell me the story. This was the story. A person that doesn't even know what Marzicha is sends a message to Rav Huna by calling him Huna, our friend. So my Marzicha, what actually is a Marzicha? There's Aval, the mourner. The Ksiv, as it says in the pasuk, Kayamar Hashem, Altavi Beis Marza, don't come into the house of the mourner. Okay. Quote a verse that tells us what the word Marzicha means. Amar Rabavo. Rabavo says, Minayin la'aval shmeisiv bereish. How do you know that the mourner sits at the head of the table? I guess at that maybe Suda Savra or something. You know, when they have the meal, the first meal, right, that's prepared by others, who sits at the head of the table. So Shenemar says in the pasuk, Evchar Darkam, chosen their way, Ve'esha bereish, and I sit them at the head. Maybe I sit at the head. Be'eshkin kamelach bigdud, and I sit like a king amongst his soldiers. Kasher avelim yenachim, as the mourners comfort. Then the pasuk, that's the end of the pasuk. But Rabbi Vod reads the pasuk, Yenachem acherim mashma.
He said it's not the mourner, it's the person who comes to console.
should console. Kasher avelim yin kasher avelim. It would be like yenucha. Would it be like as the avel is being consoled? Would it be like as the mourner is being consoled? That's what it wants to say. Would be.
You mean when you
Yeah. And before the burial, you don't come. After the burial, and you have 7 days. So, Amar of Nachman by Yitzchak Yinachim Ksiv. Yinachim is clearly the nipple. It's clearly the pastor. Kasher Avelim Yinachim are consoled, are being consoled, or have been consoled. Where? In Nachman by Yitzchak? Oh, that's amazing. So which one is that? Is that in Rav Nachman by Yitzchak?
Yeah.
I'm Rav Nachman by Yitzchak. Yenucham Ksiv. I need a pencil. I want to write that. Let's see, you have the 3 dots under the nun. I wasn't able to get that from Rashi. What do you have over there? Yeah, he has Yenachim. I have to write both of those now. Yenachim. The Koran has Yenachim. It's Yenachim with the Shva. Yenachim. Yenachim is a nifal. That's clear. Yenachim would be passive. Passive is not. Is consoled. No, is consoling, but is consoled. As the mourner is consoled. Yeah. So Yenachim is Hashem should console. That's the active. Hashem should console. Right? What do I know? Confuses me. Okay. Marzucha Amar Mehacha. Marzucha says another source for where we have that the mourner sits at the Yanchin. Yanchin would be to cause to be consoled. I don't know what Yanchin. Yeah, Yanchin would be the hifil. Yanchin would be the cause to be consoled. But that doesn't say in the pasuk. It says Yanchin. Whatever. Okay. Marzucha says Mehacha. We have another source. Besar. Is it Marzeach? Oh, I'm guessing on all of them. There's no vowels here, but there was a printer that put vowels in the Gemara. When it comes to something like this, I think they did it with computers. I don't know if someone actually. Yeah. So in the back, I'm sure they're gonna. In the Hebrew, they're going to do it the way they did it in the translation. But it with computers, and when there was something, it was clear that the vowels need to be changed because from one person to another, it has to be different. And they just left it the same. So, when someone has to read this through and see exactly. It can't be artificial intelligence. Right. Right. So I think what this means is that Marzeach over here means festivities. Those that have stretched themselves in festivities, the Sar will go away. The Marzuch is learning this. Mar v'zach, he divides the word Marzeach. Someone that's bitter and zach and flustered. Nasisar becomes an officer, like a minister, l'sruchim, to those that are, Rashi says, for the people that are coming to comfort him, but I'm not sure what sruchim means. Those that are sitting, okay, those that are stretched out, I guess, those that are sitting. So, which means that the mar v'zah, the one that's mourning, that's bitter, mourning. The mourner, mar is the mourner. So he sits at the head. He's the minister around the table, the people that are coming to comfort him. Okay, back to what we were talking about before. Rava says hilchos, the halacha is when it comes to collecting the dowry, you can only collect from real estate. You can't collect from personal. Whether it's for not just mezainis, whether it's not just for the dowry, whether it's for sustenance that the girls take from the brothers, whether it's the ksuba, bein leparnasa, whether it's for the dowry, it's only taken from real estate. Okay.
That's the case.
I guess it sounds like they're Yisayim, that they're considered Yisayim if you only take from real estate, not from the. Okay. Hamishalish Ma'is Labita. That's the correct pronunciation. Hamashlish Ma'is Labita. Someone that gives money to a third party for his daughter's whatever dowry. Okay. V'hi meres, and the girl says, "Neman bali alai." It's okay. You just give it to my husband. I trust him. You don't have to keep holding it. So, Yasa shalish mashe hishlish biyadei. Rav Meir says we don't give it over to the husband. We don't trust her that she trusts her husband, even though it's for her. But we don't trust them. And we whatever instructions this third party was given. What's it called when someone takes over? Custodian. So the custodian has to do what he was supposed to do. He doesn't just give it over to them. Yeah, we'll see soon. So that's going to be the big discussion. But it's not. Right. Trustee, the custodian. Yeah. So Hillel pointed out, Rashi says that it's the instructions were that the trustee was supposed to purchase a property for the daughter after she's married, or after she's married. Now, daughter says, just give me the money, give it to my husband. We're fine. So we don't do that. We purchase the property. Well, that's Reb Meir's view. Reb Yossi argues. You have the rule, remember, Reb Yossi and Reb Meir, like Reb Yossi. Reb Yossi says, why are you going through all of this? Even if you give her a field, she can sell it, and then so it's sold now. So you're not gaining anything by going through this procedure of buying the field because you were told to buy the field, and then giving her the field. If she just wants the money in her husband's account, so she's going to sell the field and take the money. So just give it to her. However, that's only if she's an adult. But if she's a minor, what she does is nothing. Okay. Things that are not so clear in this Mishnah, the Gemara will explain what just happened there. Tanur Rabbanan, start in a brisa. Hamashlish mayis l'chasna. If someone gives a third party, a trustee, money for his son-in-law, Likach mem sata lebite, that a field should be purchased for his daughter. In other words, after they're married. The Hiya Meres, and the girl says, Yinasta Labaili, give the money straight to my husband. So it goes like this. Min Anasuin, if she's already married fully, the marriage was consummated, then her Shaspiyada, then she could say that, just give the money to my husband. Mina Erisin, if it's only a betrothal, then Yasesh Lishmashesh Lishpiyadi de Rav Meir. Rav Meir says that the trustee needs to carry out his instructions and buy the property and not give them the money. Rabbi Yossi says, Hagedayla, if it's an adult girl, then Bein Menasun, Bein Nerisin, or Shaspiyada. We don't care if she's married, she's an adult. Aktana, but if it's a minor, then Bein Menasun, Bein Nerisin, and whether she's married or not, the Yasser Shalas Mashal Shaspiyada, then the trustee needs to do whatever he was instructed to. Okay, this is a very complicated machlokes, because Rav Meir tells us that the criteria here is if she's fully married. He doesn't tell us how old she is, though. Rav Yossi tells us, I don't care if she's married. I only care about her age. But there's a Harrison, there was a betrothal. I don't care if it's betrothal or married. I only care about her age. If she's older, then we listen to her. If she's not. The problem is we don't know what Rav Meir holds when she's younger. So this is the rubbing us off. We don't know how to make this chart of where Rav Meir would really argue with Rav Yossi. So my Benayu, the Gemara says, what's the difference between them? I know the case where the father passed away, very wealthy fellow, and the brothers didn't want to give money to one of the brothers because he was a spendthrift. What's it called? He would get rid of all. He didn't know how to handle money, so they were trying to hold the money as long as they could, not to give it to him. He was like, "Give me my money, give me my money," but the truth is, they don't have any right to it. As irresponsible as the person is, as they thought he was, it's not theirs. Anyway, so I think they ended up buying him a house. That would be something like that. Get paid off. No. So, my Benayu. What's the difference between Rav Meir and Rav Yossi? Maybe we'll say like this: it's a minor, and she's fully married. Now, Rav Yossi was concerned about a minor; didn't trust the minor. The minor can't do anything. So, therefore, according to Rav Yossi, the trustee is in full control. According to Rav Meir, he was only concerned about marriage, but she's already fully married, although she's a minor. So according to Rav Meir, then according to Rav Meir, then she's in full control, and according to Rav Yossi, she's not in control. So that would be a good difference. The Rav Meir savar her shaspiyada. Rav Meir says she's married, she's in control. She can just give the money, cash to her husband. That only if she would be an adult, then she would have control. But because she's a minor, she doesn't have control. This is 1 second. Can't be the pshat. Because let's read the end of the Mishnah. But when it comes to a minor, the actions of a minor is nothing. Man ketanila. Who was the one that said that? If the end of the Mishnah says, the problem is there a comma before that? Is there a period before that? How does that, whose statement is that? So, if you say that's the statement of Rabbi Yossi, because Rabbi Yossi was immediately prior to that statement, was Rabbi Yossi's view. So maybe we'll say it's just a continuation. Rabbi Yossi says only if she's a Gedayla. Gemara says that can't be, because Hamiresha Shamet Minei. I know that that was Rabbi Yossi's view even before he said that. Why? Because Dam Rabbi Yossi v'chiyein al asad v'yiretz l'meicher yemachur miachshav gedayla de basvini yin k'tan la basvini loy. Rabbi Yossi says that why should we just give her the money? Because if she wants, she could just sell the field and take the money. So just give her the money. That's what she's saying. That's what she's asking for. So, but who could sell the field? She can only sell it if she's an adult. So obviously, Rabbi Yossi's whole view is only referring to an adult. So then when it says, when do we say this by an adult? That can't be Rabbi Yossi saying that, because we understood that from his logic of, well, if she wants, she could sell it. So that must be El Reb Meir. It must be going back that there's a period after the word Hariyim B'chor Mi'achshav, it's sold from now, period. When does Reb Meir say? It's good. Going back on an earlier. I don't know how exactly that would be written. But the Chesurim Mechsev Achik Tani, and this is how it would be taught. Missing words. Yaser Shalosh Mashlosh B'yadei. The trustee needs to do what he was instructed. When do we say that? That's only if there was a betrothal. But if there was a full marriage, then we give it to her, and she does what she wants to do with it. And we go on with another Bamed Devarim Amurim. When did we say everything that we just said? That it depends on that. When did we say what we said? That it's only by a gedayla. That it's only if she's married. When do we say that it's only if she's married? That's big gedayla. That's only if she's an adult. Ava Bektana, because Remeir is here. Ava Bektana, but by a minor, ain't my sektana klum, a child can't do anything. Okay.
So father is certainly the problem.
Daughter. Right. Oh. Okay.
For whatever reason, the problem.
Right.
If there's a case that the girl
This is more than enough. A Patrapus would just be a very general manager to take over. This is a shelish. This is someone that has specific instructions of what he's supposed to do. Right. Right. There may be an atrapus for the over the general thing, but this is a specific instruction of what someone needs to do with a certain amount of money. More specific.
Well, that's what he does. Make sure the will.
That's now
That's what we.
now on 69B.
I know the money.
I didn't see that. Where we're left right now is we were looking for a difference between Reb Meir and Reb Yossi. We thought we had a difference by a minor that was fully married. Where Reb Meir would say, "Oh, she's fully married. That's good. She's in full control." That was Reb Meir's condition, giving her the money. And Reb Yossi said, "No, she needs to be an adult." According to Reb Yossi, you won't give it. According to Meir, what we just came out with now is that even according to Reb Meir, she needs to be an adult. So a minor that's fully married, both according to Reb Yossi and according to Reb Meir, you don't give it to her because she's still a minor. And Reb Meir also holds that a minor you can't give it to her. So what are we left with? So what's the difference in this machlokes in Reb Meir and Reb Yossi? So the Gemara concludes, "Ela gedola min ha'eris denekabinayo." I mean, this you could have figured out that if she is an adult, but she's not fully married, over there Reb Yossi says that you give it to her because she's an adult. He didn't care if she was married, fully married or not. Betrothal was good enough. But according to Reb Meir, only if she's fully married do you give it to her. Did we say, she says, "I trust my husband, just give it to my husband." So according to Reb Yossi in this case, you give it to her, and according to Reb Meir, you don't. Okay, that would be the difference between Reb Meir and Reb Yossi. Itmar, you have a statement, Reb Yehuda Shmuel. Reb Yehuda says in the name of Shmuel that halacha Rabbi Yossi. Okay, that was what I was expecting, which means that she needs to be an adult. However, we don't care if she is betrothed or married. However, Rav Amar Rab Nachman halacha Rab Meir. Rav said the name of Rab Nachman that halacha is like Rab Meir. That's surprising because usually a machlekes Rab Meir and Rab Yossi you would go like Rab Yossi. We'll see at the end of this Gemara that there's another logic that's playing in here that's taking over. And that's why the halacha is going to come in. Okay, Ilfa. This is a Gemara Tainus. Gemara Tainus told us that Reb Yochanan and Ilfa left the yeshiva. They went to go make a living, and Ilfa and they're sitting by they sat down to eat or something, and they live next to a wall. And Reb Yochanan hears this voice that says, let's push over the wall because they left the yeshiva. Something like that. I forget if it said like one of them was supposed to be great or something. The other one said that maybe there were two voices there or something. Anyway, Reb Yochanan says to Elfa, did you hear anything? Elfa says no. So, the man. So Reb Yochanan says it must be that the message was for me. I'm not continuing on this business venture. I'm going back to the yeshiva. I went back to the yeshiva, he learned, and he actually became the head of the yeshiva. Well, Ilfa went on the business venture, and he returned. And people were saying that the reason why he's not the head of the yeshiva is because he didn't have to spend the extra time learning, like Rabbi Yochanan did. So Ilfa says, I'm just as good as Rabbi Yochanan. And he has a statement, Ilfa tala nafshei be'iskarya de makusa. He hangs himself on the support of the mast on a boat. Amar, and he says like this, Ikad Asi, anyone that can come, the Amarli Milsa, that will tell me a statement, the Vei Reb Chia Rabbeisha, which means a brisa, which comes from the house of Reb Chia Rabbeisha. And I can't find the support from it, from the Mishnah. This is like a intellectual acrobatics. He's going to be able to, you tell me a brisa, I'll tell you where it's hidden somewhere in a Mishnah somewhere. He says, if I can't do it, if you can catch me, I'll throw myself into the ocean and drown. Well, Asa Husaba, that's a challenge. I don't know why anyone would mess up with dare to do this. You don't know what the results are going to be. But Asa Husaba, this older person came, sounds like Eliyahu Navi, right? Tanale says, Haimer Tinu Shekel Ibni B'Shabbos. A man that says, I guess he's on his deathbed. Could be. He was confident that he didn't forget his learning. Someone that says, give half a coin, half a selah, shekel, to my son every week. Ru'ya litin selah. Now, ru'ya litin doesn't mean that there's enough money, but it means that the need became more, and they really need a selah. They really need double the amount that he said because of inflation. That coin does not buy what they were expecting it to buy when he passed away. Well, nice selah. You might have to modify it, and you adjust it to a selah because the needs of to modify that, the cost of living. But if he said, "Al titin lamela selah," don't give him only a selah. Don't give him anything but a selah. That means don't give him more than a selah. Then that's a different story. Then al titin lamela shekel. If he says, don't give them any more than a shekel, then lamela shekel. Then you can only give a shekel. So he really limited what this child can get. If he says, he says that if these children die, then others should inherit, which means he has his mind really on other people's inheritance. He doesn't want this money to get lost on these children. Whether he used an expression of give or used an expression of don't give any more than a shekel, you see what he's concerned about. You can only give them a shekel. Amalei. So this, I guess, the Husamba says, this is the Amalei. I guess Ilfa. Ilka says, Hamani, who is this? Who's the author of this? This is Reb Meir. Damar mitzvah l'kayim divrei hameis. It's Reb Meir's view, where Reb Meir holds that it's a mitzvah to fulfill the words of a dying person. So therefore, because this is what he said, the source for this is the view of Reb Meir. This brisa would be following the view of Reb Meir. Okay, now this takes us back to what we thought before. Why would we be paskening like Reb Meir? There's a machlekes Reb Yisrael Reb Meir. Well, what happened over there was that the father had instructed that the shalish buy a property for his daughter after the marriage. And since mitzvah l'kayim divrei hameis, now we have Reb Meir's logic that you can't, even though the daughter could actually go and sell it, like Reb Yossi is saying, she could do whatever she wants with it. But nevertheless, mitzvah l'kayim divrei hameis, we have to fulfill what the mace was instructed. Amar of Chizdam Maruk v'hilchas bein shamar tinu bein shamar al titnu neisnam kol tzarkam. Because this says the name of Maruk, it actually doesn't matter. You always have to give them what they need. Even if he said, don't give them more than this, you still give them what they need. What about what we've established? That the halacha is like Reb Meir, that says that you're supposed to fulfill the words of the dying man. It says, Hanimili b'mili achanisa, that's only in other matters. But in this, this is what he wants. So why do you say don't give him any more than? That he said this. He was trying to make them more careful with spending, and wanted to give them limited funds so that they should learn how to spend their money properly and not waste it. Yeah. Maybe what Rashi says, that they should find food and that they shouldn't be gluttonous. So Rashi puts it. They shouldn't just overspend on food. Yeah, the Gemara is not a big fan of spending money on food. The same nutrients the Gemara says you can get from cheap food. Same thing. There goes Whole Foods. But the Gemara is a fan of spending money on other things like shoes and stuff. Okay. Tanan Hasam was taught over there. Tapuutes, children. Mekhan mekach and memkorin mekach. What they purchase is purchased, and what they sell is sold. The metaltlan. That's only by movable, by personal thing. Rafam says that's only when there is no caretaker that's taking care of the estate. But if there is a caretaker that's taking care of that, this trustee that's taking care of that, so then what they do is nothing because there's someone that's in charge of all of this. Mimai, how do we know this? Mi diktani, since it taught ein maisik taniklum, that it says that what a child does is nothing. And then we have another statement that says what a child does is final. So it must be that when do we say what a child does is nothing? That's when there's an apotropos there. That's when it's nothing. If there's no apotropos, if there's no trustee, then it is final. Maybe over there it's different because there was not just a trustee, there was someone that has all the money in his possession, that he's a third party that's taking care of all of that. That's more than an apotropos. It says Im came listening Abulktana Yasashal. Abulktana Yasashal is Mashush Spiadi. Mine Maisek Ain Maisek Tanaklum. Why did I have to throw in that what a child does is nothing? It should have just said that the third party does whatever they do. That's it. Why did I have to throw in this general statement that what a child does is nothing? Shmami Nafila Balma means even in general, even if it's just a trustee there, then the child cannot make any decisions without the trustee. Okay. Oh, hi.